Hello, everybody out there. I'm coming to you live from my office, and we're doing like a post Halloween edition. I know it's the first, but yesterday was a very busy day, and I usually do not go live or stream on Wednesdays. My day is a Thursday, so if you want to catch me, tune in on Thursdays, and this is your show, Lust for Life LV. And what we do here is we help people with your health and your mental and physical health needs, as well as being able to live the life that you've always dreamed and always wanted to be able to manifest in your life. And tonight's topic is talking about fear. I noticed that a lot of people are really being extremely fearful nowadays. And we're also talking about the subconscious and self punishment, as well as punishing others, and how to break that and create something different for yourself and stop letting that be a hindrance to yourself. So, we're going to just dive right into it. And happy Halloween, everybody. Post Halloween. Hope everybody had a good time. It's one of my favorite holidays. I love it. Ever since I was a little girl, it's a time to be creative. And I think a lot of people are afraid of being creative nowadays. Sometimes we're told that being creative is considered childish. And when you're told over that you're being too childish, you tend to want to hide certain aspects of yourself that you really should nurture. So I'm going to let you know that it's okay to tap into that childlike behavior with yourself because that's your creative energy. When you notice that little kids under the age of 5 or even sometimes under the age of 10, they don't have this fear about themselves. They go full forth with their dreams, their aspirations, their desires, and they don't care how ridiculous it sounds. When we get older, we become more self conscious, we become more insecure, we become more anxiety filled, hateful, confused, and we stop ourselves. So people tend to like to want to blame everybody else. Well, it's this person, it's that person, it's that person. But in the end of the day, we stop ourselves. So tonight, we're going to tap into that energy that we once had because we all was born with it. We were always born with creativity. Some people say that they're not creative, but that's not true. You just have a suppression of creativity. And when you have a suppression of creativity, you lack manifestation. So sometimes when you're in this rut, all you have to do is just breathe and let go of the naysayers and the disappointments from your past and what other people might judge you. And sometimes that's in our head too. Like many people think that this person's not going to approve of me. This person's not going to want me to participate. This person would stop being in my circle of friends or close knit if I did X, Y, and Z. But sometimes that's even made up in our head. We have so much that we make up in our head. I personally have experienced this firsthand where I stayed away from certain people that was close to me because of certain type of projected fears or thoughts or projection of our own integrity that we violated because we all come with sets of values. We all come with our sets of principles. And if you violate one of your own principles, you assume that that's their principle too. But that's not true. Everybody has their own sets of beliefs and principles. Because you violate your own, you don't have to assume that they will feel offended by something that you secretly offended about. So basically, I went into hiding because of the guilt that was like unnecessary. Sometimes we have unnecessary guilt and we keep ourselves from people we love, activities we love, ambitions, goals, and desires. We keep ourselves from these things because of something that we made up in our head that's not even true. So I came across the people that I was hiding from, and I realized that they weren't mad at me at all. I was mad at myself, and I was projecting that anger out onto them. What it really was that they missed me. It was the complete opposite of whatever I came up in my head. When we come up with things in our head, we make them real because they are real. Like when you basically test. There have been studies about athletes when you test them and you make them run a race. Let's say they're a runner, athletic runner or a swimmer or whatever, and you have them envision their race in their mind and hook them up to EKG, and they signals and brain firing synapses all fire as if they actually doing the activity. And they're not. They're just sitting there thinking about the activity. They're not actually doing anything but thinking about running that race or winning that gymnastics type of activity. The mind is so powerful that we can't distinguish when we're actually doing something and when we're imagining doing something. So you have to think about that for a minute when you're thinking about, like, wow, the brain is just that powerful. The brain is really just that powerful. This energy and these thoughts that create our reality as we go through life. So the subconscious things that we have and hold in ourselves, we have this addiction to it because we're thinking about it so much. We're thinking about it all day long, and day in and day out, we become attached to these ideas, these falsehoods. Because in the end of the day, they're just falsehoods, and you're keeping yourself from certain activities that you really love. Just think for a minute, what was the last thing that you used to do as a child that you really loved, but you stopped doing because maybe you had a bully situation or a parent situation? Often it really is the parent situations too, because parents are our go-to and our guides to when we want to be molded and our sense of instructions and guidance. So we're looking for that person to help us and guide us. And if they don't approve of something, we automatically become shameful of whatever that thing is. And it could be innocent. It can be very innocent. And most likely it is if you're a child coming with this. So just think back for a second. When was the last time you did something that you really love to do and you just stopped doing it? You don't even really realize why you stopped doing it, but you did love this thing. And think about how many years have passed and how many excuses that went on, and you haven't done this thing. You can still do it. It hasn't gone anywhere. Your skills have. It's like riding a bike. We never forget how to ride a bike. And if you say you forgot how to ride a bike, you're a lie. You might be lazy now. As we get older, we get lazy. We get complacent, but you don't forget how it is. And you definitely don't forget how it feels. So you need to hold on to that energy of how you feel doing that. And when you're not doing what you love, you're grumpy. And you wonder why so many people are walking around so uptight, so heartbroken, stressed out, because they're not living the life that they really love. They settled for this idea they bought into. Whether the idea was sold by the government, whether the idea was sold by a friend, a family member, it doesn't matter who the source came from. All that matters now is that you have that awareness that you can break out of that and get back to the energy that's truly you and not somebody else. Because we're just like sponges. We kind of mimic what we're around. When we're around certain people, we tend to become and pick up their habits. That's not truly ourselves. So that's why it's time to sometimes get into a space of seclusion. Just bring yourself back and spend some time with you. Spend some time loving you. We get so caught up in loving other things, other people, and we do not take the time to love ourselves. So I invite you to take some precious moments out of your day that has nothing to do with anybody else, has nothing to do with anything else, but has to do with you and your self-fulfillment and satisfaction, because it's not too late. One of my favorite stories is about an entrepreneur. I want to say it was the Kentucky Fried Chicken man. And yes, I'm a vegetarian. I'm not promoting somebody to eat fast food. I just love the story because he never gave up on things. He wasn't until his 60s until he became who he is today, or who he is today on his empire. He went around the world trying to pitch his idea and got turned down and turned down. But after a while, just keep pursuing it, it finally happened at 60 something. So you can't say, oh, I'm too old. There's no such, if you still got breath in your lungs, you're not too old to go after whatever you want to. And especially if you're in your 20s, you really don't have an excuse if you're in your 20s. You have all the energy in the world, and you need to be able to direct it. 20-year-olds tend to have this energy that's just so sporadic, they don't know how to focus it. And with focusing, you can manifest and materialize whatever objective you might have for yourself. When you materialize it, then you can go forward, and it would never just be an idea. Some people have this like the living idealist, and they're always a fantasy world. You might know people like that, or you might be that person. You can easily shift your energy to become more grounded, to be able to have action behind those thoughts. Because if you just sit and think all day, it's just going to be that. But if you put action to those thoughts, it's a beautiful formula for whatever it is that you've been desiring. And you don't have to be mad at the world. Everybody is so upset right now. Everybody is so angry and frustrated and stressed out and sad and having this blame game. And you don't have to be that way. You don't have to punish yourself. And that's why I was talking about self-punishment. Because when you deny yourself of what you truly want, what's really in your heart, you're punishing yourself. I don't care what the excuse is. I don't care if you're this age. I don't care if you're this weight. I don't care if you're this height. I don't care if you're this nationality. End of the day, they're all excuses. And you can easily bowl through all of that by just accepting the fact that you're way more powerful than you ever thought. Some way we're around the line of childhood to teenagehood to exactly adulthood, we forgot that we have this power that we need to own and protect, because we give it away way too easily. And when you have that, you'll be able to know where you can go, what you can do, and no one can tell you anything otherwise. And you'll be able to easily share an energy of love that's magnetic. Love is a magnetic energy. Hate is like, it's magnetic too, but it's in a different way. It's in a magnetic in a circle, and it keeps you in this bounded energy to everything that you don't like. So this message exactly is for my ladies. I wanted to talk about punishing your man, because I know a lot of wives out there, a lot of girlfriends out there, a lot of side chicks out there, whatever your title is, fun buddy, I don't care what your title is. A lot of women are in this habit of being so vindictive that they, like my aunt used to say, cut your nose off to spite your face. And you really don't want to do that, because you're really stunning your own growth as well as your mates. An example of that is that I've heard plenty of guys who will talk about the worst thing you could do is tell your girl you're having fun without her. And I thought about that, like, that is just so strange. Like, you shouldn't have to be on eggshells and hide the fact that you're having fun without her because of her jealousies or insecurities, or that to me is like a very suffocating situation. How can you feel like you can breathe in that relationship where other than the dynamics of relationship doesn't matter? You can't breathe in a relationship if there is all of those restrictions because of some type of dark energy within that person. And you could easily like think about yourself of why you attracted a mate like that. Because usually like attracts like, and people don't like to think that way. They would like to think, yeah, this person just completely opposite for me. I don't know why they came in my life. I don't have a clue on why this person insists on being this way towards me. You have to think about maybe in some way that you're not aware of, you're being this particular treatment towards them as well. So for ladies, I want to just invite you to, I don't care what he did. And a lot of times women, we hold things in because we are the womb keepers. We hold things in for years and years and years. And it might have been something he did 5 years ago. I don't care what it was. I don't care if it was just yesterday. I invite you to breathe, release. If you see that man coming in the door happy, allow him to be happy. And vice versa. If you're a man and you're doing this, if you see your woman coming in the door and she's happy, allow that person to be happy. And matter of fact, take notes and be able to get into that energy as well. Because we can tap into any energy that we want at any given time. As they say, there's always a matter of fact of changing your mind. Once again, the mind is so powerful, changing your mind. So if you're upset about something, you see somebody happy about something, you could easily go and just say, okay, I know this person did not do something that I wanted them to do or act in a way I wanted them to act or whatever the situation is it worth me holding this grudge right now? Making my blood pressure go up, making me get a headache, making my temperature in my body rise, making me not be able to sleep, to the fact that I'm up all night and I gotta get up and go to work and I'm late because I didn't sleep. It's a domino effect of bad energy to bring bad luck. So you're cutting your nose off to spite your face. You're punishing yourself. That's the point. Whenever you decide to punish somebody else, you are ultimately punishing yourself instead of deciding like, oh wow, that person's happy. Maybe I can tap into that happy energy too. I've had I know it's very tempting, being spiteful or mad or expressing this or being blame game type of person. A lot of people like to play the game, blame game. I did this exercise with myself and I just took a step back and I saw somebody that was really happy in the door and I was upset about something they did, who knows when. And I decided, like, you know what? I'm going to join this energy. I'm going to play this game. I'm going to play into the energy of lightness and fun and forgiveness and see what happens. See if I can go down this road, this yellow brick road, as they say, and meet the eyes. And what happened basically is that I did end up feeling so much better too. I got all type of surprises. The person ended up being able to bring me some flowers that day and took me out to dinner. Like I got all these rewards from just shifting my mindset from being so upset, mad, resentful to happy and open. Being open. Sometimes we're just so stuck in our lower vibration that we don't want to be open and we're committing ourselves to being right. Are you that type of person who's committed to being right? Is that more important than having loving energy, being happy, being satisfied, or just being relaxed? Do you like to have that permanent dent in the middle of your forehead? Like you ever meet somebody who have like a permanent dent because they frown so much, they got like this permanent dent in their forehead that they created because they're so grumpy all the time that their physical body is now being affected. The physical body is very much connected to the emotional state, the spiritual state. When you think about stress and what that is, it's not a tangible thing. It's not like a virus or a germ or a bacterium. You can't touch or see stress under a microscope. You can't touch or see it. So therefore, it lives in the spiritual realm. For people who may not believe in spirituality, you have to realize that there are basically powers that you cannot see that you got to respect because they do exist. They do exist. Whether you want to say it or not, they do. So once you're all in this energy of uptightness and mad and angry, your body starts to break down. You start to look older, way older than what you are. And I ran into a young man not too long ago, and he asked me out the blue, what was his age? Weird question. Most of the time you don't really get that question, especially, I guess, for females. And he was like, I want you to be real with me. You know what I'm saying? Don't give me the phony. Tell me exactly how old you think I am. And I said 42. He got so mad because his real age was 30. I couldn't tell. Like his skin was gray and he had gray hair in his beard, and I couldn't tell. I would not have ever guessed this man was 30 years old. And then he told me he was like, I'm from the Bronx. I've had a hard life. Like, I'm like, okay, well, I'm originally from the Midwest East Coast area too. I'm not from the Bronx, but I'm from just an equal, this dangerous city. And I don't look like that. Those are excuses. If you play into the game of darkness, it will win. Simple as that. You have a choice to not play into that game. Because I could easily use that excuse too and say, oh, yeah, I'm from an inner city, a dangerous inner city that's been on the news for like number one, murder capital and all that before. I can use that as excuse. I can use the excuse of my mother being murdered when I was just 13. I can use that as excuse. I can use a lot of excuses, but I don't because it's giving away my power. There's a power within you that you have to protect because no one's going to protect it for you. That's the truth. No one's going to protect it for you. No one's going to protect your sanity for you. No one's going to protect your physiology for you. No one's going to protect your financial situation for you, especially that. If you're one of those people who feel they got to be the one who pays for everything and gives out everything, my basically diagnosis of someone who like that is a sense of guilt. When you're ready and willing to just pay for everything and everybody and just be overly generous. It's good to be generous, but in life you have to be balanced in every way, and including finances. And if you're doing that, it's really a subconscious idea of guilt. You're trying to pay your way out of something when you're doing that. When you're being overly helpful, you're trying to pay your way out of a certain belief system that you have in your mind. I think it's time for us to all challenge our beliefs, whatever they might be. I don't care if it's something that you've been ingrained with since you were 2 years old, years old. It's time to ask questions and find out why we have these certain beliefs and see what can happen when you let go of certain beliefs and let something else in. Let yourself expand to the universe gifts because that's plenty of gifts. If you only stay on your block, and like let's talk about New York again, like for example, if you only stay on your stoop, you don't go nowhere. How do you expect to experience something entertaining and different that you feel that's out there, but you're secretly holding yourself back from? That's not possible. You have to be open to something completely different from yourself. Completely. You have to be honest. You can't be in denial about things. A lot of us are hiding from who we are because of whatever programming that we had once before. You can't do that to yourself because once again, you're just stepping into an area that's just stuck. Who wants to just be stuck? Anything is possible when you have some type of basically energy that's moving and not stagnant and so grounded. You want something that's moving so you can move out of that situation. If you're happy in any situation, only person right now you have to look at is you. No one else is you. You have to care about you. Tonight, I want to invite people to take the responsibility to care about them more than they care about anything else. Because we're so trained to be obedient to certain things or entities or things outside of ourselves that we neglect the very vessel that's making this machine run, which is you. So I do meditation, I teach yoga asanas, and those are all tools you can do to help yourself get back and grounded into who you truly are, not what somebody else wants you to do. And another thing to help you recognize what these things come in is just look back at your past. Look at your habits. Look at your routine. Be honest about your habits and routine. Be honest about the people that you grew up with. Hard pill to swallow for some people. Because our dear loved ones mean the world to us because we were conditioned to be around them so much growing up. That's all we know. But it's time to know something else. It's time to know you. So if you want to know you, you have to examine the certain habits, the certain patterns, the certain way of being that you have that keeps getting you the same storyline over and over and over. You're hearing the same Brady Bunch story over and over and over. And I mean, if that's what you want, that's fine. But I understand that A lot of people tell themselves they're fine when they're not. A lot of people tell themselves that it's okay when it's not. Especially people of color, ethnicity, we always have to put on a strong arm or a strong face for everyone else because it's expected for us to be strong. It's expected for us to handle everything ourselves. But you have to look at your past. That's step number one when it comes to overcoming fears. Look at your past and see what that takes you. It might take you down a place that you don't want to go, but you have to go. You have to be honest and look and say, okay, I get where it happens and why it comes to me. So now let's try to do something different. Another step is to overcoming fear is trying something different. It could be one thing a day. One thing a day. Some people think they have to just radically change their life and move to Europe. You don't have to do anything that extreme. It can literally be something as simple as if you're a person who goes to the gym every morning, maybe just go to gym at night. Just something as simple as that, switching from day to night and see what happens. See if you meet some new people because you most likely, because most people are creatures of habits. When you go to that gym in the morning, you're going to see the same people at the desk. You're going to see the same people in the sauna. You're going to see the same people in the weights. You're not going to be able to get anything different from going to the gym the same time every time. Something that simple and taking that step can create a different muscle in the brain to where you start to have another story to tell. So the old one that you don't like, you have to be real with yourself. So I invite people to just one thing a day and then build on that. Then do two things different a day, three things different a day. And our subconscious, how we can rewire it the most easily, it's at night. So if you want to try to do some meditation techniques, visualizations at night, that will be even more beneficial to help you break certain habits. Because when you go to sleep is when the subconscious finally shuts up. And you'll be able to breathe and be able to see things a little bit differently. And you go to sleep with a different story. So let's be careful what you watch before you go to bed. A lot of people, I know it's Halloween time, so it's a lot of haunted stories. You don't want to watch anything like that before you go to bed. You want to watch something that represents that hidden desire within yourself. You know what that is because it's different for everybody. Some people, it's about just having a simple life and living on a farm and be able to tend to cattle and raise their own pigs and chickens. Some people want a mansion and Ferrari. Whatever that is, it's okay. It's not about this is bad and this is good and this is better and this is not. It's about you as an individual. So if it's something that you really want to manifest, you have to put that in your system before you go to bed. It's just little steps like that. You don't have to go to these crazy gurus who want you to go to their seminars and then they hit you with that surprise $100,000 fee if you want to have your life saved and changed. You are the master and creator of yourself. You don't have to go those extremes. It's something as simple as saying no to somebody. I know like a lot of people have this fear of saying no to certain people because they might lose them or they might offend them. But you have to be really real with yourself and know if it doesn't sit right with you today, most likely it's not going to sit right with you tomorrow. You know, some people try to sell you a dream, a pipe dream or something. They're like, okay, you saying no right now, but just sleep on it. I know you've heard this before because a lot of people go through that and they're like, okay, I guess I'll sleep on it. You don't need to sleep on that. You know what you want. You have to just be courageous and let the inner lion within you come out and say, no, enough is enough. Tell your truth. It makes it so much easier. It takes all of the overstepping and over precautions and misunderstandings out of the way when you're direct and honest with self. So I want to invite you guys to come out and come to my channel and ask me questions, live chat. I'm going to start doing this more frequently. And if you don't know, I am a person who is a professional in this field. This is not something that I just do part-time. I have a master's degree in psychology, and I also have a bachelor's degree in health and physiology, and of course, alternative health, because that's what's true to me. I don't trust the medical field like that. It doesn't really give you the results that you need to be able to be cured. So I'm more into natural modalities, Ayurveda and Eastern philosophies and Chinese medicine. I'm open to all type of way of healings and high priest work and tantric work. I do a lot in the spiritual realm as well as the physical realm to have a wholeness, so you won't have that feeling that something is missing. Sometimes when you're so committed to one thing, you have this feeling that something is missing, and that's because it is. So you can email me at lustforlifeconsultant.com. That's lustforlifelv at consultant.com. You come to this channel, you can hit me up here. You come to my website, Lust for Life LV, that's number 4, not spelled out, Lust for Life LV. You can ask me questions, and there we can work with each other and get each other past these fears, because I realize a lot of people are living in fear. And a lot of the things that they do, they don't even recognize that they're doing it because of fear. Most people, the reason they work the job they work is because of fear. It's not because they like their job. It's not because they feel like eventually the light at the end of the tunnel will come with their job that they're working. Is because they're living in fear. Some people are living where they're living because of fear. They might be in an abusive relationship with somebody, whether it's verbal or physical or whatever it is, but they're not happy and they're just staying because of fear of the unknown. Or some people are basically signing up to sell themselves in a way that it's against their integrity out of fear. So you think about what you're doing and how you act and what you do on a daily basis. Ask yourself, am I doing this because I like it, or am I living from a state of fear? Am I self-punishing myself because I feel subconsciously wrong for wanting what I want? So with that being said, I just want to take the time to say thank you for coming out to my channel. It's a new channel, so I'm really excited about everybody coming out and just having this dialogue, because no one's really talking about real things anymore. People are too afraid to say and speak their truth and speak from their heart. So I invite you to. All right, that's it. I'm Epiphany. Remember to subscribe and hit that like button. And I'll be coming to you soon with more videos. Have a good night and happy post-Halloween.